Awesome. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure seeing you all here this evening with us. Today we are going to talk about AI and how it may help you with your mundane tasks. Let me start a bit afar. I want to thank, first of all, everyone who has joined. I want to thank our speaker, but the main thing, I want to thank the organizers, and it's All Stars IT, an international outstaffing company. So it's a leading global software R&D, technical support, and talent acquisition service provider. They have more than 20 years of experience in setting up R&D centers. They've been present in more than 100 major tech companies. Like they're relying on us, and physically, those are more than 15 sites in the world. Talking about employees, those are more than 1,000 people globally. And actually, you may join or you may refer a friend by scanning this QR code and proceeding with a link. So if you're looking for a job, or if you know somebody that may looking for one, please visit either the All Stars IT online site or scan this QR code. If you're interested in events like this, in technology meetups, in soft skill meetups, follow us on social media. All Stars IT is basically everywhere on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Telegram, Instagram, you name it. So search for it, or you may also use this QR code. For all the people who are looking, who are watching us in recording, you may check the description below. Probably you may find the link there. And now I want to introduce our speaker, a good friend of mine, a person whom I know not for ages, but for years, a public personality. He has been speaking and sharing his knowledge for years. I think it's already more than 15 years in IT sphere. It's also a PhD. I know he has been working with AI starting from the university years, and talking about people whom I know personally who has been working with artificial intelligence. I think he's the person who works with those technologies the most time I personally know, of course. He is CEO of DevRain company and also CTO of the famous organization Donor UA, who helps all the people to find blood donors, or they may help you to become one. I know they have also have some company programs. So if you are interested in corporate donorship, like check their website. Oleksandr Krakovetskyi, a good friend of mine and Microsoft's most valued professional in terms of artificial intelligence, Microsoft regional director, and a good professional and AI expert. Today he'll be talking about AI copilots and everything related. Oh,
Yeah, I just want to listen.
Okay.
Oleksandr,
That's how
okay, I'll mute everyone who is disrupting us, but we may start. Thank you for joining us today. You are very welcome.
Thank you so much for this kind introduction. Thank you everyone for joining this webinar. Really, it's not the first time I joined the All Stars IT webinars, so maybe we'll have some small community or maybe a big community. Anyway, today I will be talking about AI copilots, and maybe this is the first time ever I don't have any slides. The reason is the reason is very simple. So the number of technologies and news that we have right now is very quick and fast, and I don't need a presentation because it will become old very soon. And the second reason is that I'm still in learning stage. What does it mean? Most of these technologies are not available for everyone that I will be showing today. And I will not state it that this is something technology that only single person or single organization will have. But as for now, there is a very big demand of all these copilots and all this AI stuff. And this means that I've got access to these tools not a lot time ago. And even I've got access a couple of weeks ago or a couple of days ago. I'm still learning because this is a huge milestone for us, for developers, for humanity, for Microsoft, for OpenAI, for all this AI stuff. That's why a lot of things will be not covered because I'm still, as I said, I'm still in learning path. But some cases I will show. Our topic today is about copilots. So let's define what is copilot. This term was introduced by Microsoft in 2020, when GitHub Copilot was introduced. And as for now, Copilot is a digital assistant that integrates into some software that we already used and help us to navigate the data, to do some tasks, etc. That's something that you should know. The second thing is that yesterday I wrote a post about Microsoft and naming. So Microsoft is far away from good naming of how to name their services and tools. And that's why we will have a lot of confusion today, because when I will talk about Copilot, I always will need to specify what exact Copilot I'm talking about right now. And I'm feeling that you will have a lot of questions after the session. What is Copilot? What's functionality? How it's named? Because it's not stable yet. But anyway, that's not my main purpose to confuse you. My main purpose is to showcase a couple of examples, explain how it's working or how it would be working or how it will work, and answer maybe some of your questions. We can start a little bit to learn, to know about you. Please mention in a chat window, do you use any copilots or OpenAI or GPT-based models? What exact tools or models you used? That will help me to understand the level of competency of the audience. Yevhen used chat.openai.com. That's cool. Okay, Copilot in Visual Studio and ChatGPT. Cool. Okay. some other tools. ChatGPT, maybe Claude, maybe Midjourney, maybe Bing Chat, ChatGPT plus plugins, after GPT, GPT Engineer. Okay, Volodymyr, you can drop from the call. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so most of you work with ChatGPT, but BART. Okay, BART is also good. Okay, let me share my screen. And I will start with the most popular, maybe famous tool, which is ChatGPT, and we'll showcase what the steps were done to provide some Copilot and digital assistant experience. So first of all, I will mention that I use ChatGPT Plus subscription, which costs $20 per month. And it gives access to GPT-4 models. So here you can see DALL-E, browsing, analysis. And let's start from this. I will show you a couple of examples. And the difference between GPT 3.5, that this version is limited to general knowledge base that was trained, but ChatGPT 3.5 does not have access to external sources and external knowledge. So GPT-4, now you can see that we don't select any plugins or we don't select any mode, because ChatGPT-4 is responsible for selecting the specific mode. That means that if I would ask to do something, generate a few ideas about using AI in legal. So for this, I don't need any external sources, and ChatGPT will propose me some kind of answer. But if I would ask something which is out of knowledge base about myself, which is the most famous request from people. So in this case, ChatGPT doesn't know anything about me, so it becomes searching on a Bing. So that's the first mode when we can use external search engine. And in this case, we could get it's not the perfect results, because it still can take information from untrusted sources or some fake sources, but it's better than just general knowledge base. Yes, and Olena mentioned in comment that GPT Plus subscription is temporarily stopped for new users. That's true. And I would say that all these copilots and all this stuff has very huge demand. And these course that not everybody could take the technology and use it in full manner. So that's true, because demand is very huge. Okay, so here you can see that we've got some information, and also we have the citation, so we have the references to the specific pages. Okay, that's quite simple. So let me create a new session, and let me do the following. I would like to ask to solve equation. As we know, ChatGPT is not very good in math. But if I do this, probably I will get good answer and correct answer, because GPT-4 is quite good. But default option for ChatGPT for math operations is advanced data analysis. So it means that, so that's the specific approach when ChatGPT generates Python code, executed it, and results transformed to the human readable format. So that's the quite simple approach. I just ask and it was converted to Python code, executed. I got these results, and these results were shown to me. That's one option how to avoid hallucinations, because GPT 3.5 could produce incorrect results. ChatGPT 4 could do the same. But here we can see that you said, okay, yes, 2x. You mean that 2x? Okay, yeah, it might be. I use something like this, 2x, but it's smart enough and can understand this notation. But if you still, yeah, it's just the, how would say, this is x. This is not multiply. This is x. So it's understood this format because you can't enter the full formula. So that's quite good. One more example is to use plugins, and this is also my best example I like to show, is the use of Wolfram. Wolfram is the computation engine that contains a lot of algorithms, facts, and different, I would say, yeah, facts and algorithms about different areas, not just math or physics. So it has a chemicals, physics, astronomy, people, etc. So it's a huge program. It's a computation intelligence, they call. So it contains a lot of topics and contains a lot of different approaches to work with this data. You also can make some request on natural language, but still you need to understand how this works and what exact functions you need to use. So ChatGPT with Wolfram solves this issue because I can ask something in normal language. Wolfram can solve it from math perspective, and ChatGPT can also transform this poor answer into the good explanation. Once again, this is x. So this is the 2x. I can use something like this, but I can avoid it. Okay, that will be better. So when I select the plugins, it just go to the Wolfram. It use the API, transform my equation into this, get the raw result, and then transform it into the human readable format. Now it produces a short answers. Months ago, it produced a very long answers, but we can continue communicating with this. For example, show plot. Okay, so it also could format equations. It can produce some images, etc. Math is not the only topic. I could ask, for example, what's the distance between London and Kyiv? And ChatGPT will give you approximate number, which could be different so if you will ask each day, you will get roughly the same results, but they are not accurate. So plugins and Wolfram allows you to illustrate this and also it gives you information in miles and kilometers. It's also say that, okay, if you will use an aircraft, it will take you 2 hours and 25 minutes. So you will get the precise information about this. What I also like is show, oh, Jupiter, it's correct, satellites. Let's see if I was correct, because I use it in Ukrainian, but yes, Maris, Galileo, okay. Orbital properties. Anyway, orbital properties, physical properties. Anyway, I use this example in Ukrainian, so I just ask it to show how the satellites of Jupiter looks like right now, and it generated the panorama view. Let me. Okay, but anyway, the main idea of this example is to show that you can interact not only with mathematics, but also with different type of knowledge, and you can use it in ChatGPT. Of course, if you don't want to pay for ChatGPT, of course, you can still use Wolfram Alpha directly. It's free, but ChatGPT allows you to transform your not ideal request into the understandable format. Okay, let's move forward. The next thing that I would like to show is the new thing that was introduced a couple of weeks ago. It's the MyGPTs, and this is more. This is something that could be considered as a copilot, as a digital assistant. So, what is GPT? So, Microsoft is not the only company that is poor in naming, because I don't know how to translate MyGPTs, MyGPT. Anyway, MyGPTs, that's the digital assistant that you can fine tune for yourself. For example, I can start a new GPT and say, first start with the understandable message, what digital assistant I would like to build. Okay, I want to build an assistant for junior C# developer that wants to become CTO. And just it's not prepared example, so I just think about this right now. The general idea is that you need to explain with simple language what you would like to achieve and what this the GPT will do. So it will start fine-tune your ChatGPT and adopt how it will react, what questions you can ask according to what you mentioned. And okay, this is the first step. Now it will generate me the name, the CTO path guide. I will say okay. Then it generates me some example questions that I could ask. So the each person who will start working with this GPT, we will have these suggestions how to start. Then it will use DALL-E for generating image for this. I say I like it. Okay, so I can slightly improve my GPT. So I can explain what tone of voice I would like to use here, what the length of answers I would like to do. So what is the typical questions and typical answers I would like to get. After each instruction, I can so it will update GPT and improve the behavior. We have a question: do you use ChatGPT also in Google or MS Docs via APK? if so, it's possible to send all same requests during the video. I will show Microsoft Copilots a little bit later. Just wait a couple of minutes. And API as well. Okay, so this is the example. So here you can see the configuration path. So here I have name, description, instructions, which is important thing because these instructions are used to generate the main behavior. Conversation starters, you can add more or generate your own, but ChatGPT is very good in generating this. Also, what does GPT, why I consider this a copilot? Because here you can see that you can add or include or enable or disable different capabilities like web browsing, DALL-E, image generation, code interpreter. But I think that code interpreter in this case is very important. Maybe DALL-E is not important here. Web browsing might be also in feature, so I will leave it. And here you can see additional two moments. One, first is knowledge. So you can add your own files. So if you would like to combine general knowledge and your own files, I don't know, you have some specific requirements to C# code in your company, or you have some specific information about how you learn C# in your school or university or company. And also you have an actions. Actions is the option to connect your GPT with the external API. So if you have some kind of, I don't know, rating system or award system, and you would like to give some points to the user, so you can slightly integrate it with your environment. And so you have the general knowledge, you can have your own knowledge, you have different capabilities generating images, web browsing, code interpreter, and also you can use your own
I understand correctly that Oleksandr has some issues with the internet.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm here. Some technical issue. Okay. So now I can start interacting with my GPT and get the relevant answers. Let me show GPTs that I already created that I like the most. So this is the culture compass. So if you know the book, which is Culture Map, the cross-culture communication, if you did not read this book, I highly recommend to read it if you are working in IT area. So the general idea is that this book explains that all cultures can be divided into high context cultures and low context cultures, or of course something can be in the middle. So what does it mean? High context cultures is something like a Japan. So if you will ask, could you give me feedback? Japanese people will never say that you're a stupid asshole. They will say your work can be improved. So I very like how you work, but I can see how we can improve the collaboration. So they will never say direct feedback. And in Israel, you will get the direct feedback in 1 minute. Say, guys, you're a stupid asshole, so fuck off. Something like this. Ukraine, something in the middle. So if you talk to other people from other companies, it's important to understand this cultural difference. So I built such a GPT. Also, how to say correctly, so I also can publish it, so I can share the link, but let me show, because it's always, yeah, copy link, so I can share you. And now if you have a subscription in ChatGPT-4, you will be able to use my GPT. We are waiting from OpenAI that there will be the GPT store, and we will be able to publish and maybe monetize such GPTs. Okay, that's the quick guide for the copilots, and this is something that is very easy to start. Let's move on. If you don't have ChatGPT, you can use a Bing chat. So Bing chat, so you saw that ChatGPT used Bing to get information and generate results. Now that's the vice versa. Bing use the data and use ChatGPT or GPT to generate me an answer. So I can still say, what do you know about? And I will get roughly the same results. It's not the same as in ChatGPT, but the general idea is the same. So it's searched through the internet. So you can see that my question was converted to the search query, which is just Oleksandr Krakovetskyi, and then it generates the answer with some references. So formally, you can use Bing chat. Maybe it's not the 100% of analog of ChatGPT, but still it's a good companion. And if you don't want to pay, you can work with this. Also, you can work with, you can start more creative, more precise, more balanced. So you have some kind of modes. And also one more thing I would like to show is Bing image creator. So still, if you don't want to use ChatGPT or you don't have it, you can use image creator from Designer, because this is the same DALL-E free as it used in ChatGPT. Because as you know, Microsoft invested in OpenAI, and they have the exclusive right to use all these OpenAI technologies in different products. So DALL-E can be used from Microsoft Bing directly, and that will be the same DALL-E free that is used in ChatGPT. Okay, let's move forward. So here you can see this Bing chat. Next, I would like to show you the plugin, which is also the same Bing chat. It works. So I use the Edge browser, but as far as I know, it's also available in Chrome browser. But anyway, this is the plugin, and here I can interact with the page I'm currently here. So for example, if I will go to the website, so I can open some specific page. Some news about Israel. And I can interact through the web, information from the web, but also I can interact with this page in a couple of ways. I can give the permission to Bing chat to read information from this tab, or I can simply copy paste the link and say, give me the summary of the news, and just give the link. So you can do whatever you want, and you can see that the speed of answering is quite good. And you can ask different questions based on this article. You can ask, if the article in English, you can ask your questions in Ukrainian. You can have a Ukrainian article, but ask questions and ask to provide answer in any other language. So it's not a problem. Here you can see that it's a chat, and it has the same creative, balanced, and precise mode. It also has some suggestions that, okay, generate some summary. And you saw that it asked me about, some. Okay, let me just a second, stop responding. I would like to do it again. Create page summary. Yes, so another option, and now I will get this answer. So you can ask different questions. I use this very often, for example, when I have science papers. And there was one research that ChatGPT 3.5 is better than GPT-4 in some of the cases. And that was a quite long article on 10 or 15 pages. I didn't want to read it all. So I just asked this plugin to give me all examples when ChatGPT 3.5 was better than GPT-4. And it scans all the text and give me these results. I think that's the good. Just for understanding, it's not perfect. Sometimes it gives you not the very relevant results, or you know that it might be better, or something like this. So, but this is the time saver. Of course, if you need to be 100% confident about what you are doing, about what you're reading, you need to read it carefully by yourself, but you still can use this Copilot to save your time. You can see here that you have this compose option, and that also quite interesting, because you can go, for example, I don't know, let me open not the Microsoft tool, but Google. I can say blank document. I can say create create an email to my boss that I want to fire. Funny email, generate draft, something like this. So it could be you can craft any message, email, or something like this just in your browser. It may take some time. Okay, I can't, as I said. So sometimes you could not get the answer. You need to try a couple of times. But anyway, you can use some simple options from ChatGPT in your web browser. And when it generates the preview, let's wait a couple of seconds. Okay, I can't. Yeah, that's quite interesting, because Microsoft and OpenAI, they're working on this hallucination, bias, and avoiding offensive content. That's the example when the content filter is worked, and that was a harmful request. Okay, create an email to my boss and say hi. I don't know, maybe something like this. Anyway, when it gives a preview, you can use a button, and you can just let me yes, and I can just, using this button, quickly paste into that editor that I use right now. As I open Google Docs, you can also see that email draft is also an option to craft. And And it's also an example of how GPT technologies work. So all these copilots in Google Docs also exist, but you need to be a subscriber as far as I know. Okay, one more important thing. You can see that Bing Chat was renamed to the Copilot. So when you will hear Microsoft Copilot, just a Microsoft Copilot, it is Bing Chat, it's the Edge browser, and also this is the Windows Copilot, which has the single name, Microsoft Copilot. I can't share this because it's on another screen, but my Windows 11 also contains the button Copilot, and it has almost it has actually the same design and works very similar to Copilot here. The single difference is that in Windows you also can interact with your operation system, like please turn on dark theme, which is not possible with the web version. So Windows Copilot can also work with web and desktop options. Okay, now it's I think it's understandable. Let's move on. The next thing I would like to show is just give me a second. Okay, let's show this. The next thing is Microsoft invested in OpenAI, and the service that you can use, where you can use all these models via API, calls Azure OpenAI Service. So here you can go, for example, for a chat playground. So it's very similar to Playground to OpenAI. It has more options, and you can do it in native Azure environment. But still, this is the same ChatGPT functionality. So here I can see all the models I can deploy, and you can see it's GPT 3.5 Turbo, GPT-4, text embeddings, Code DaVinci. So I need to deploy I need to make a deployment of this model, and then I can use it in a chat playground, and also I can use it via API. So I can select from C# or Python or Node.js, Python, and I can use this. So API is mostly the same as OpenAI API. The difference is only the endpoint and the endpoint we use, but in general, it's almost the same. Also, Microsoft gives you opportunity to extend the functionality of just the OpenAI API. For example, I can add my data. I can upload my data to blob storage, then index with the Azure AI search. Previously, it's known as Azure cognitive search. So it will index all my information, and I can query my own data. And this approach is called as ChatGPT on your data. As I said, it's not working perfectly right now, but that's the question of time when it will be better. I can say, so the question is, do we have access to all models from OpenAI here? The answer is yes, but there is a slight delay between OpenAI delivers some models or capabilities, and when these capabilities appear in Azure AI, in Azure OpenAI service. But here you can also fine-tune. You can also fine-tune your models, so you can upload your own knowledge base, fine-tune, and use these fine-tuned models as well from the API. And also you can see this big banner presented the new Azure AI Studio, which was announced in the latest Microsoft Ignite conference that was a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, one more question that might be the access to all these tools. So Open AI Studio is available, but GPT-4, so not for everyone. You need to get access to the OpenAI service. Then you need to get access to the DALL-E and to the GPT-4 models. So that's the three-step journey. And unfortunately, or I don't know, so not everyone can get this access. And yeah, because of my awards, MVP and RD awards, I have this access. So we used OpenAI Studio, and we already building a lot of copilots, digital assistants, and different pilots for our clients. But anyway, now we have this Open Azure AI Studio, which is in preview, and it's also, so it's the new version, and potentially Azure OpenAI Studio will be closed after all the functionality will be moved to the Azure AI Studio. And the general idea is to get all the AI services inside one service. It includes, as you can see, Azure OpenAI. It includes cognitive services, which now calls AI services. So it could be speech, it could be language, it could be vision. Also, here we can see that here we have the integration with OpenAI models, with Microsoft models, and also models from Meta, NVIDIA, and Hugging Face. So it's the single source of all machine learning models that are available on the planet. And if you don't know, Hugging Face is something like a GitHub, but for ML models. And Meta has Llama. So it's an open source, but of course, if you would like, you need to self-host your Llama model, so you can do it from here. So you can just select the model you have, you can deploy and use it from the Azure. Also, just for you, I also was quite surprised because I saw a couple of slides about Microsoft model, which calls Phi. And yes, Microsoft also worked on models, which called Microsoft Phi, Microsoft Phi 2. Now it's a research preview. But anyway, here you can see all the information. You can see the license, you can deploy and test. And also, if you select the Hugging Face, we can see the huge number of models, because Hugging Face contains dozens of thousands of ML models. And you can see all models that's presented on this website. So you can deploy, you can work, you can see some meta information, you can see some examples. So everything you need to deploy and work with this model. So that's the huge improvement. And yeah, so you can use OpenAI. And the general idea of Microsoft is to connect all the state-of-the-art models inside Azure. It could be not only Microsoft tools. If they have an agreement with Meta, okay, Llama will be presented to Azure. They have agreement with NVIDIA, okay, all the NVIDIA models will be presented here. If they will work with other, I don't know, Midjourney or Stable Diffusion, or maybe other vendors and providers of these models, maybe one day we will get more models inside one catalog. Next thing, which is quite good, I just learned about this today on a closed event. And the general idea is I want to compare different models. Because that's the question. What is better, ChatGPT 3.5 or BART? Or can I use Llama instead of ChatGPT? or what other options I can to compare. And now we have some kind of benchmarking. Here you can see, as I said, I knew about this issue, about this opportunity just today. So I was not able to learn deeply about this opportunity, but I saw that you can compare some accuracy on a benchmarking. And this is very important because if you use benchmarking, you can be more or less objective and just not say, okay, for me, BART working better. Okay, might be, but we can't use this one personal opinion as a result. So benchmarking could give us the clear understanding of real numbers and can see some comparison on different data sets. So why benchmarking? Because it used the standardized data sets and it has calculated metrics. So it's very easy to compare these models. Okay, next is speech capabilities, vision capabilities, and language capabilities. So it's all about Azure AI services. I can try it out, but as for now, it redirects it to the Language Studio, Vision Studio, or Speech Studio. I will not talk about these services today because it's out of my topic. Also, you can see the content safety. This is the new service from Microsoft that allows you to moderate the content. So you can ask, you can analyze your content, and it will show you on different ages, violence, self-harm, sexual, hate. So you can define your needed level of all these metrics, and also you can test different services. For example, if you are building, I don't know, video, okay, you are YouTube, you need to detect some sexual content in video. Okay, you can take off all other things, but you can turn on some, I don't know, sexual parameter. Or if you moderate some hate speech in Facebook, so you can manage this hate metric, and you can turn off another filters. So this is the so previously it was the content filters, content moderator service from Microsoft, but now it's more improved and use also AI. And it's more mature service for all this moderation. Okay, and also we have these prompt samples. So this is something, the example of what you can ask to large language models. So you can play with different. So this is a part of educational content as well. So this is the prompt. You can open it in Playground. So you can see different variables. So you can learn prompt engineering, which is one of important skills that will be in a couple of years. And just one moment I would like to highlight, because if there are some developers here, just the poor developers, not the data scientists, and okay, I will say data scientists and people that learn ML, I would say that all our work in a couple of years will be connected somehow with AI. So you need to start learning at least AI fundamentals. There is a certification from Microsoft. So at least you need to understand AI fundamentals, because in a couple of years, each project will be connected somehow to AI, ML, and all this kind of generative stuff. So that's my suggestion and advice: start learning at least AI fundamentals. Okay, next we have this build tab. So this is the same playground I can use, but it's more connected not just to OpenAI, but to all models that I can see. Prompt flow is one tool that allows you to create ML flows. like it states in the name. Also, we can do some custom neural voice, and this is the environment to work with our models. And one more example, it's the manage. That's the resource I used to work in this Azure AI Studio. So that's a quite new tool, and it's just a few weeks old. And yeah, but yeah, it will be improved. But that's a very interesting approach when all the AI stuff is integrated into one studio. And here you can manage all your models, to play with them, register, to benchmark, etc. Microsoft also has Microsoft Machine Learning and Machine Learning Studio, Machine Learning Service and Appropriate Studio. And this studio also integrates some generative AI and components. So that's the question: should if we will have Azure Machine Learning Studio and Azure AI Studio as two separate products, or we will have this combined as well. I don't know, but that might be an option too. One more thing I would like to show is actually the Azure Copilot Studio. Unfortunately, I was not able to play a lot with it. But the general idea is that we can build different copilots, including plugins to OpenAI, to Microsoft 365 Copilot, and all this kind of stuff, also with a specific studio. If you know, there is a service called Power Virtual Agents, which was a part of Power Platform. So this tool was converted into Copilot Studio. So, but Copilot Studio is wider product. So this Power Virtual Agents is just a small part of it. The general idea that you can do different copilots, different type of copilots. For example, ChatGPT on your data copilot. You can use your own data sources. You can use different flows. You can use some visual presentations of your flows and build. So that's the different types of copilots that you will be able to build in one environment. Maybe it will be the topic of my next presentation or something like this, because I need more time to prepare. And we talk about 1 hour. It's already left, but give me just maybe additional 5-10 minutes. I will show you also the Microsoft 365 Copilot. Once again, Microsoft Copilot is a Bing chat, Windows Copilot, and plugin in browser. Copilot for Microsoft 365 is standalone solution that integrates into Microsoft 365 and give you opportunity to work with different applications, and each application, Word, PowerPoint, and all this kind of stuff, they have some specific scenarios that you can achieve with the Copilot. I would start with the Microsoft 365 chat, which is which in Teams, you can see it as a M365 chat. So you can find it here in Teams as application M365 chat. You can find it in Microsoft365.com/chat. And also, if you log in with the appropriate organization account and you have appropriate license, the additional switcher will be shown on bing.com. It's the same product, but is accessible from free places. As you can see, Microsoft free.com. If you go, it's the work. If you go to web, that will be the standard Microsoft Copilot. If I go to work, it will be Microsoft 365 Copilot. Quite easy, yeah? Anyway, so the difference between Microsoft Copilot and Microsoft 365 Copilot, that Microsoft 365 Copilot actually has access to all your organization, unable to resolve requested application, of course, because you don't have appropriate license and you don't have all this kind of stuff, so you don't have this. What I can do here, so as you can see here, I can not just generate some content or ask questions. I could use some kind of documents. For example, create an FAQ based on document docx. What does it mean? It means that, for example, if we have a meeting yesterday and we do some notes, we can create, for example, email based on the notes that we did yesterday on a meeting. Or I can ask something like, can you summarize my activity with this client? Or please generate me a presentation based on these notes, etc. So as I said, the general idea is that Microsoft 365 Copilot can access all your environment, working environment, and you can add people, files, you can use references to people, files, your meetings, etc. And this is, from my perspective, a game changer for our personal and corporate productivity. And this is one of the examples why, and this is one of the reasons why OpenAI, why we have a lack of resources right now, because as for now, Microsoft 365 Copilot is available only for big companies, for huge companies actually. And demand is so big that they can't give, that's the first time of my professional career that such big corporations like Microsoft can't give the access to their services to people that want to pay. Despite that fact that Copilot for Microsoft 365 is quite expensive. It costs $30 per user. It's $30 additional $30 to the license you have, basic enterprise license you have, and the enterprise licenses starting from, I think, from $20 or something like this. So it will be something like a $50 per user. But anyway, $50 from one perspective, that's a big sum. But if you will see the opportunities that will save you time, so that could be a very big time and resource saving. Okay, let me also open, I don't know, let me open some applications, explore all my apps. Okay, let me try something. Okay, let us start with PowerPoint. I will start a new presentation. And here I will have this Copilot. Just a second, it will be loading. This is my product. I will be very quick in my demo. So let me open this Copilot. And I would ask, create a presentation from my website. So I have a product, and I would like to make a presentation. That's a very quick example. Okay, I'm not able to do that. That's also happened. This is what I get yesterday from this. Let me show you. I would say it's ugly, honestly saying, but that was prepared from by Copilot, so it's so it got my information about my product and generate this presentation. Why the result is so ugly? Might be because I don't use a lot of context about this. So if I will explain more correctly what I like to do, the result will be better. As you may also, we have this designer, which is the previous version of AI that used, so I can stylize this. But anyway, I can work with this presentation. I could ask to add a new slide. I could ask to rephrase the content. I would like to generate some sections. So for example, here, the introduction, introducing Chatty. So you have these two chapters. So these 2 chapters were generated by Copilot. And I just asked to break down all slides into this. So I can ask to create a presentation. Yes, we can create presentation from file. I can summarize this presentation. I can organize this presentation. So I can interact with this. So that's also an option. If I have a new presentation from whatever, I can just say, just summarize me the key points from this, and it will give me the quick. I will get a quick understanding of this presentation. Okay, this is the PowerPoint. Next will be Word. It's quite simple in a Word. Here you can see this panel. Sorry. Okay, so that's a very simple example what I can do. But of course, I can do much more. So I can interact with my documents. I can ask to style my document, to summarize, to write something, to change something. And also I can ask questions about my document. So for example, the one coolest feature I used here is, this is my technical requirements from the client. Please summarize the key requirements, or what the deadlines of this project. So some questions that are very important for delivering this product. So that's what we can do with the Word. Excel, maybe I'm waiting the Excel the most, because it's the numbers, it's the calculations, and it's always you need to do something with the numbers to calculate metrics. And of course, it took some time. We just need some Excel table to do something, and now you can slightly interact with your data. For example, you can ask to okay, bold the top 10 values in budget, or okay, I'm just using the suggestions, but as you could understand, I can slightly ask different questions about my data, transform my data. It could take time. Okay, so it's highlighted the values. Yes, so this is what we did. Sort budget from smallest to largest. So I can sort, I can add new column, I can filter, I can highlight, I can ask something. I don't know, give me all campaigns from. So you can interact with this data. It's something similar to advanced data analysis in ChatGPT. As you can see here, I got this information and I could say that, okay, add this to the new spreadsheet. And here I am, I have a new table. So I can analyze the financial information of my company. I can quickly get information and calculate the metrics. I could do actually anything with my tables, with my Excel. And this is and this is quite funny because Excel will never die. You will, but Excel will not. Because with Copilot, you can do such a lot of great things. Again, so let's make, they did Excel great again. Okay, we also have Copilot in Teams. So for example, we can do some presentation or meeting, then we can do the transcript, and then we can summarize this transcript or do something else. In Outlook, we can summarize emails, we can draft emails, we can do anything. Loop, it's something similar to Notion. The same here, you can, sorry, it asks for, okay. The same here, I could draft my content, I can edit, I can summarize, I can do as well. This is the empty tenant. I was not able to fill it with a lot of content and events and emails, so I'm still experimenting. But even from these examples, you can see that if you use ChatGPT and see the great potential of this tool, you can understand the potential when it interacts not just with some data, but the data in your working environment and the data with your notes, with your technical requirements, etc. And final example is using the GitHub Copilot. So I was quite skeptical about it because I said, okay, I have a ChatGPT, it's quite good in programming, all this kind of stuff. Why do I need additional GitHub Copilot? But honestly saying, it's good. I can do some simple things. So I can say, I need to make a redirection from www or to non-www. I was not able to understand how it's worked correctly, but yeah, this is how it's working. It generates me a code. You may say, okay, but you need to write this code very fast, and you should understand how to write this code, and you will be right. But let's be honest, how much time you will spend for this simple task? Maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10, if you know how to do this. But even you will spend 5 minutes to constructing all these links. I spent just 2 seconds to generate this code. And for example, when we launch a new corporate website, when you develop a website and you need to launch website to the web, you still need to do a lot of stuff. SEO, SMM, meta tags, security headers, redirection, etc. So it's a very small task, but you just need to do it. Also, you can ask GitHub Copilot chat anything you would like to do. You can ask how to improve my SEO. I don't know. You actually, you can ask different questions. Some questions were answered very good and precise. Some of them will be not so good, and you will get, sorry, I don't know how to do this, or something like this. Also, you can do, sorry, something is broken. Oh, okay. So you can also use this in inline copiloting. So I don't know what to ask. Yeah, okay. GitHub Copilot was able to answer my question. And also it's so it understood the language and the framework I use right now. So if I will ask how to do this redirection in ASP.NET MVC, it will give me another piece of code. And that's quite important. And one cool thing that I also found, because I also not a very huge user of Visual Studio, because yes, I'm the CEO of the company, so I'm not work with the code a lot right now. But anyway, when you have the HTML that gives that provide HTML designer, and you need to transform it to the Razor. And for example, you take the one paragraph or one div and transform it to the another format. And you need to do it for, I don't know, 20 additional items. Copilot can understand this, and it will propose you code with the same formatting that you already did. So instead of copy pasting, Copilot will help you to do it very, very fast. And that's quite cool because you can spend less time. And I saw a lot of skepticism in the comments, for example, like, okay, but it could generate a bad code. The question is not about bad code. The question is, if you know what you need to do, so you can formulate your question appropriately, and you will get this piece of code that should not be innovative. It just should be here, and that's all. And if we will look on the project, you will see that a huge number of repeatable tasks can be replaced by such type of tools. So all of these options is a small part of copilots that are available on the market. Because if you will take Photoshop, Notion, Google, Microsoft, and other vendors, you will get different type of copilots, and this period of time is called as an era of copilots, and this will be the intermediate period between personal productivity like ChatGPT. Now we have the corporate or collaborative productivity, and that will be the next step. It will be AI first applications, when AI will be the core product, and we will see a lot of products with this paradigm in upcoming years, or maybe even months, because we have such a lot of things, announcements each day. So that's huge. And even you are a general developer or program manager or team lead, all these copilots will be the primary. So you will get not just the tools, but you also will be using Copilot for all these tools, which could improve your productivity many times. Microsoft has, I would say, 15 or 20 different copilots right now. for different products. For Power BI, we are waiting for Azure Copilots. So finally, we would be able to ask why I'm spending so much on Azure, and it will give you a precise answer, hopefully. Hopefully not, I don't know. Anyway, we will have a lot of these copilots, not only from Microsoft, but Microsoft has now the biggest range of tools, and they have the leadership in this area right now because of early investment of OpenAI, and all other companies, they trying to run for Microsoft. Just 5 minutes before my call, my meeting, Google announced the Gemini, which is the model, the new model from Google that will power BART, and let's see how it will be compatible against ChatGPT. So as you can see, it's a big race of AI and era of copilots. If you have any questions, I would be glad to answer them.
So thank you, Oleksandr. I have several questions. I'm, as a host today, will use this opportunity. You showed us usage of M365 Copilot in Office package. Can I do the same? Because I checked my subscription, like I don't have it neither in my own one, neither in my company one, and I saw that it's in preview, like when you use it. Like, can I activate it somehow or not? Like, is it like some kind of a privilege?
As for now, it's a privilege. So as for now, only the big enterprises that could buy at least 300 licenses, so it's $9,000 per month, is eligible to get this Copilot. So it's not available. If you could see, I showed the example not from my native tenant, so it's not activated on my native tenant. That means that even for us, for Microsoft MVP SRDs, we don't have just a Copilot to our private environment, so just a demo environment, and we need to pop up this with different content, with different, and this is a shared environment. So that's because demand is very huge, and all this technology will be out for everyone in a couple of months.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing. You showed us this AI Studio, Azure AI Studio, and gave us some examples. You showed like us also Azure API, but perhaps you may show me the following. For example, I want to add some AI capabilities in my own application. Like I'm writing something, like it's not a big thing, like a smartphone app, for example. And I want to integrate some AI functionality, like chatbot or something. Like, where should I go and what should I click? What should I purchase? Or may I use some demo account, demo API, like to play with it a bit? Like, can you help me with that?
Yeah, sure. First of all, if you would like just to add AI capabilities to your applications, like speech to text or text to speech or sentiment analysis, or I don't know, name it entity recognition, that's the standard AI capabilities that are available through Azure AI Services. The previous name is Azure Cognitive Services and Azure Applied AI Services. So now it's called Azure AI Services, and this is the regular services. So you can, if you have an Azure subscription, you can go to it and say, I need a speech service. Okay, just activate a speech service, and that's it. You are able to integrate speech to text or text to speech to your application. Of course, there are a few preview features or features that are not available for everyone. For example, as I said, the custom neural voice, it's not available for everyone, so you still need to get an access. But 99% of all other features are available. If you would like to add ChatGPT to your application, you have two options. The first option is to use OpenAI API. You still can go to the OpenAI, pay some money to OpenAI, and you will be able to get these models via API. And maybe that's a good option if you're building some personal chatbot or something like this. If you would like to build something for enterprise, it's recommended to use OpenAI or ChatGPT Enterprise, which is a separate licensing option from OpenAI. It's expensive, but there is an option. And of course, the option is using Azure OpenAI service. If you get access to OpenAI, you need to describe the scenario, how you would like to use OpenAI in your application, and you will be onboarded to Azure OpenAI. If you would like to be onboarded with GPT-4, you need to add additional request. And if you would like to get DALL-E, you need to also get additional request. Still, you can, for development, use the OpenAI API where it's available. But when you switch to the enterprise-grade application, you will need Azure AI. Then you have a couple of options to play with this. So it could be used as an Azure OpenAI Service Studio and Azure AI Studio. But the latest one, the Azure AI Studio is not available for everyone too. So if you have access to Azure OpenAI Service, then you will have access to the Azure AI Studio. So it's connected, because if you don't have access to OpenAI Studio, it's useless. So you don't have access to this. And the final option is Microsoft Copilot Studio. If you would like to build plugins to Microsoft 365, of course you won't, but if you don't have any access to Microsoft 365 Copilot, how you will write the plugins? That's an obvious question. And yeah, so Copilot Studio, you can still build some chatbots and using or without using generative AI. Copilot Studio, I would say it should be available for everyone, but still you need some subscriptions on Azure and Power Platform or something like this. The licensing is not understandable yet right now, so if it will be free or should you buy some additional licenses. I saw some information about Copilot Studio. It's quite how to say correctly. I would say if you are searching for a new job, became the licensing expert, because not a lot of people understand how it's working.
Indeed. Thank you. Really interesting. A lot of options, but with their own caveats.
Yes, and these options are just in Microsoft world and OpenAI world. We still have LangChain, we have Claude, we have Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, we have Llama, in OpenAI, we have Llama in Azure, we have Llama as a separate option, we have Whisper, which can be a cloud version, an offline version. So we have a lot of options, and I'm just mentioning the top tier models and services. So, but we still have a Hugging Face, we still have this Auto GPT, we have these agents. So it's a huge world that is start forming right now. And I think it will be even bigger than the mobile world or a game world, because all this generative and just AI will be everywhere, including in mobile, including in game area, including and chatbots will be everywhere. smart chatbots. I hope smart chatbots, yeah, because we have a lot of chatbots right now, but not all of them are smart. So I assume we will have better client support, we will have better interactions with the content, and the search, the access to knowledge will be improved.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? You can type, you can voice yourself, speak up.
Yes, please. I have one, if I may. Oleksandr, I have a couple of questions actually, but yeah, I will ask a single one. It's more like vision or prediction to the future, but as you say, you have mentioned a few technologies based on AI, like the agents, AI agents, which can actually do work instead of you in terms, especially in terms of software development, like Auto GPT, GPT Engineer, and all that stuff that they can they can receive some high-level overview of a system that should be designed and do the work instead of you. I have tried to play around with that fancy stuff. Cannot say that they are too good yet, but yeah, they are definitely improving day by day. My question is the following: what's your attitude to the prediction? Then, well, in some period of time, a few years after, the necessity for software engineers as such can be decreased, because obviously GPT agents and agent-based language models are much cheaper than software engineers. I don't say that everything is going to fire and AI will take our jobs, but I'm thinking about the business perspective. It's much easier for business to form high-level requirements and send it to GPT agent, which can do the work instead of you. And if something is wrong, the agent can fix it. It can write the tests and it can even deploy and can do the stuff. What's your attitude to those predictions and how to react on them? Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Thank you. First, I don't believe that developers will be useful and AI will replace developers' work, and I will explain why. If you will talk to people, just normal people, not like us, and if you will show just the basic stuff for ChatGPT, they will be surprised and then will be shocked. Because if you even show you how to work with the basic stuff in ChatGPT, people will think that this is the magic. And not a lot of people understand how it works. Let me simplify. Nobody understands how it works. Just a very few number of people that understand how it works. So the first reason why developers will be needed, because somebody will need to explain and do the actual job. If you think that even installing this GitHub Copilot was not simple task, actually. So it was not a simple task, actually, because you need to understand such a lot of things about tools, versions, packages, licensing, logging, two-factor authentications, configuration. So you will spend some time to do this, even you're a very experienced technical specialist. Just imagine a regular person. He or she will never understand how it works. So that's the first reason. Developers will be need. I will not say developers, I will say IT specialists. Let me correct myself. That's the first reason. The second reason is that just imagine a number of software that was developed during the last 30 years. And just imagine that you need to rewrite everything because of the new technologies, because everybody will need this AI. And even people that say, okay, working don't touch, we have this implementation, why do we need a new version? They will look on these Copilots and say, oh, I want to do this. I want this. I want my users or my employees to work with data so easy as I can do with ChatGPT. And they will need to replace all the software in the world to the modern one, move to the cloud, organize the data warehouse, teach people. So it's a huge blue ocean. And also it will open new opportunities. So it will produce a new number of jobs because everybody will be needed: prompt engineer, conversational design engineer, low-code engineer, I don't know. So everybody, because the access to technology became easier, that means that big number of businesses will be able to join this journey. And they will require developers, integrators, prompt engineers, people that will just explain how it's working. So it's a very huge market, and potentially it could be even bigger than cloud, than mobile, than gaming combining together, as you can see right now. Yes, Lena showed, and I mentioned this, that Google announced the Gemini. They postponed it into January, but as you can see, they did not wait to January and announce it 1 month or 2 months earlier, because they understand that 1 month is infinity nowadays in case of generative AI, and they should be competitive. And now, if you may ask, all the clients, all the businesses, they start thinking of integrating artificial intelligence into their products. They start thinking about how to do this. And that will require a huge digital transformation of all processes, all data warehouses, all skills. And one more thing, just I forgot to mention, but let me show you one more thing. If we will go to Microsoft certification, you will see a new stuff which is called Microsoft credentials. It calls now Microsoft credentials, and Microsoft certification is a part of this. And now there is a new thing introduced in Microsoft Applied Skills. And that's also a very huge shift, because now you will not be just the certified professional. You can earn some skill, a specific skill. For example, I know you can work with Microsoft Copilot. That's the skill. Or you are able to work with a Midjourney. That's the skill. And for example, certification can be a sort of list of skills or something like this. But now we short our knowledge to some specific skill. And that's a big shift, because we will need to train, to teach, to understand these skills. And these applied skills will be very important also for development, for the project management, for all this kind of stuff. Sorry, I did not share the screen, or you see the screen? No.
You did.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, this is the Microsoft applied skills. I don't see any issues with developers for upcoming years. Of course,
We have the same issue. Let's wait a bit. Yeah, there was a short.
I think that if you will upskill yourself with all this stuff, I don't see any problems with employment and demand on the market. Of course, some jobs will be replaced by AI, for sure. But yeah, but you need to get these skills for not to be replaced as well.
Yeah, thanks for answering. Thanks for good presentation.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Okay. Ken, thank you. Thank you so much for invitation. Thank you so much. So instead of 1 hour, we sit down one and 45 minutes. And I want to thank you for joining, and I hope that it was informative and useful. One more question, the last one. Sorry. What jobs will be replaced if you have 1 minute to mention? I don't know. It's a very complicated question, and a lot of more smarter people than me trying to understand. But in general, if something can be automated, that's the candidate for replacing. But for example, somebody says that legal lawyers can be replaced. But when you read the legislation of Ukraine, you will understand they will never be replaced, because nobody will understand that what is happening in our legislation. So the real world is very complex. It means that we never know these black swans where they will be. But in general, if ChatGPT can transform the data or calculate the taxes, definitely it will be replaced in some time. Thanks.
No, at the same time, I read this article about Brazil, and they approved a bill on water counting. Like, they didn't have any water meters in the country. Like, it was so sold like the old way. So they approved this bill on water meters and how the water is going to be sold for like the population. And eventually this bill was developed by ChatGPT. I was surprised. So probably one day it will be better in Ukrainian legislation as well than like an ordinary person. But let's see.
Yeah. Okay. You still will need to prepare data to make it attractive, to cut this information, to save it on appropriate place. So you still will have, maybe you will not get the same job. Maybe you will have another job.
Mm-hmm.
But still you will, I can't say that my designer lose his job because of Midjourney. No, he has double work, because now we use Midjourney and now we can produce more graphical content than we did it previously. So he is not under the risk. Moreover, he even has more, I would say correctly, he can do more with less efforts with the Midjourney, DALL-E, and other tools. So, but if you build banners, just banners, simple banners, you potentially will be replaced because tools like Microsoft Designer, Canva, Photoshop will do this job very easy. And definitely, maybe you will not lose job, but in general, that will be a cutoff in this industry during the year 25. So that's quite complicated, but we still will have this replacement, but we still have a new jobs open it for sure.
Actually, if we are talking about technology, usually they improve the work performance, for example, I don't know, horses were carrying some load. Now diesel and electric engines do this, but like you still need to load those trucks, and either you're doing this with some machinery or you do it by yourself. So the same with AI, I assume. Okay, so actually now we are a bit ahead of competition because of the Oleksandr. Like we know what to expect during the upcoming month and adopt those copilots, plugins, and so on. Thank you, Oleksandr. Do
Yeah,
appreciate, and it's my pleasure seeing you with me all the time. Like, you know, I recall this old joke about AI and PowerPoints. So there were no PowerPoints today, only applicable knowledge. So thank you for doing this. That's really helpful.
Thanks. Have a nice evening. Bye.
Have a nice evening, everyone, and see you on upcoming meetups. Do appreciate you joined us today. Follow us on social media. Search for All Stars IT. Look for Donor UA if you want to donate some blood and save some lives. And thanks everyone, and especially Oleksandr Krakovetskyi. Have a great evening. See you. Bye-bye.